Did you know that superstar actor Anthony Hopkins was once entangled in one of the craziest coincidences of all time? The year was 1971, and a young Anthony was preparing for his new role in a movie. The movie was called The Girl from Petrovka, and this would hopefully be the break that young Anthony needed to get recognized. So he threw himself into his work. And that meant Anthony was going to do his homework. So he needed to get a copy of The Girl from Petrovka to really dive into the role. He was looking everywhere in London for this book, and it was sold out from bookstore to bookstore. One bookstore owner would tell Anthony Hopkins, yeah, dude, sorry, this book's not available in the UK yet. Anthony then finds himself at Leicester Station in London, wondering what to do. But when he's at this station, what does he see on one of the benches? A copy of The Girl from Petrovka. But not just any copy. This copy had notes, and it looked like an original copy. Now, that might be a crazy coincidence of itself, but here's where it gets really wild. A year later, when Anthony would go to the set for The Girl from Petrovka, he would find George Pfeiffer, the author of The Girl from Petrovka. So George would tell Anthony Hopkins, like, yeah, you know this movie that you're starring in? Well, I kind of wrote the book for it. No big deal. And then Anthony would say, oh yeah, if you only knew the trouble I had to go through to get a copy of this book. To which Pfeiffer replied, yeah, I actually lost my book while I was in London. And that's when Anthony rushed to his bag, pulled out the manuscript that he found on the bench, rushed it over to George, and said, do you mean this book? And that's when George took the book, looked at Anthony, looked at the book again, and said, what the fuck? It was the same exact book. The author of the book lost his original manuscript in the big city that is London, only to be randomly found by the actor that would star in the movie for that book. And of course, Anthony Hopkins would go on to be one of the most successful actors of all time. But this is such a crazy story. Experts use it as a prime example of the quantum theory of coincidence. Or did Anthony Hopkins just steal it and make this whole story up? I don't know.